Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, I'm Ray. I'm sitting here with Matt, and our featured guest today is musician Jon Butcher. He's actually backstage at a show currently. John, where are you currently at? Where are you guys playing?
We're at an undisclosed location where if I shared our location, I would have to have you eliminated. No, not really. I'm here in Cape Cod at a beautiful venue called the Music Room, in West Yarmouth, Massachusetts.
Oh, wow. And what time do you guys actually go in and play? I know you said you're getting ready to do your sound check.
Yeah, sound check is in about 30 minutes, and I think the show starts at 8 o'clock.
Man, you've been around for a long time, man. You've been around since the 70s doing your thing. You guys, I saw you opened for Kiss. How was that? How was that experience opening for Kiss?
Not nearly as bizarre as meeting Gene Simmons.
Really?
Yes. Well, check it out. Gene and I met for lunch prior to playing the gig.
Okay.
And he's big and tall and intimidating.
Oh, wow.
And he was friendly. I mean, he treated me really well, but I was afraid. I was afraid that something might happen. So
yeah. It's like, were you more afraid of him or more afraid of his person-sized tongue that he has? Like that, like that thing's just like a serpent.
Hey, man, take your pick.
Yeah.
Okay. It was all scary.
Yeah. And John, you being on the road, of course, meeting Gene Simmons, what is there anything from being on the road, like any memories that stick out in your head, like one of the craziest things you've seen? And also, what's one of your favorite memories that you've had from all the years you've traveled around and played music?
Man, that's really tough because on the strings. Okay, I got a short story for you.
Okay.
During the show, sometimes our drummer takes a solo, right? The drummer. So that allows me to a chance to towel off and go in the dressing room and maybe change a shirt or whatever. Okay. So we did that. So the drum solo was happening, and I go backstage and I look in the dressing room, and there's a woman stuffing herself into my pants, my street pants that I'd taken off for the show. They're hanging up, and I looked at her like this.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, and for a second, I didn't know what to say. Finally, I blurted out, "What are you doing in my pants?" and she said, humana, stamina, humana. And I guess at that time security came by, but I think she was trying to steal my clothes. So does that classify as bizarre?
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. That's the only time in your life that you say you can get into a woman's pants without getting into a woman's pants.
She
got it
in his pants. But this way, it's a lot funnier for me to tell the story than it was for me to watch somebody trying to steal my clothes. So that happened. On the other hand, in terms of great moments, there are too many to count. I have been blessed with playing with some of the finest musicians in the world. I got a chance to make a music video with one of my guitar heroes, Jeff Beck. I had a chance to meet and play with B.B. King, and so all of those things combine to make a really lucky life, and that's how I feel. I'm a lucky guy.
And John, you've been in numerous bands, of course. Jon Butcher Excess is, you've had so many different things. What do you think? Did you vibe with a certain amount of people better? Did you kind of vibe with everybody that you played with out of all the bands you've been associated with?
No, I think I did. I think every one of my opportunities to play, whether it was in my band Axis or whether it was with the Barefoot Servants, with the finest bass player in the world, Leland Sklar. Of course, you've seen him in every music video there ever was. He's got a long beard; you can't miss him. And so all of those experiences together, I think, make me the musician that I am. I'm thankful for each and every opportunity I've had to play with different musicians, be it the guys on my new record, Special Day, or be it the Barefoot Servants guys or my old pals in Axis. It's all beautiful to me, and I'm lucky to have had those opportunities.
And of course, you also have the Electric Factory Music, which tell us a little bit about that, because when we were looking that up, it pretty much said that you've done a lot of stuff for a lot of various TV shows, Star
Yeah.
Trek, a lot of
Yeah.
different things. How did that come to be, the Electric
Well,
Factory?
that's my music company, Electric
Okay,
Factory
so that,
Music.
that's your actual company. Okay.
Electric Factory Music and Film, yeah. And it started out as just a vehicle for me to make records.
Okay.
And what happened was it expanded, over the years. We went from just sort of having a clubhouse to record my music to recording other artists. And then, of course, we went on to start making film. We do a music video for other artists like myself who don't have corporate deep pockets to spend $30,000 on a music video. So we fill that need. And it's given me some wonderful opportunities to meet some great people.
How many music videos do you guys think, probably a rough estimate, you guys have probably done for artists?
I don't know, probably in the double digits by now.
Yeah.
I just started really doing that over COVID.
Okay.
In 2020, I expanded Electric Factory Music and Film to a division called Watercolors.
Okay.
And what Watercolors is the vehicle that makes video and film for musicians or artists or whomever.
Okay, cool. And with all that, who all have you opened up for, and who was your favorite? Was Kiss probably your favorite to open up?
No, actually, I consider my big break to be opening up for the Jay Giles Band during their Freeze Frame tour.
Okay.
Me and my bass player, Chris Martin, were freezing in our East Cambridge apartment, and we got the phone call that the Giles Band wanted us to open up for them at the Boston Garden. Okay. So I checked my schedule. It took me about 10 seconds. Yeah. I think I'm available.
Yeah.
And that really began the whole thing. That tour turned into, those were only supposed to be 3 nights that turned into 72 dates with the band. And during that time, we played every gigantic stadium and every large hall, and it's been a blessing ever since. So I would say the Giles Band stands out as my special moment.
And what we're going to do real quick is, since we have you for a shorter period of time, what we're going to do is we're going to do our Ode to Humanity segment first. Normally we do that after our break, but we'll go to break once we're all wrapped up with you. Pretty much we play 3 games with our guests. The first is 5-second rule. So I'm pretty much gonna have you name 3 things, and you have 5 seconds to name them off. If you don't get it, it goes to Matt. If Matt doesn't get it, it goes to me. If not, then we all just lose.
Okay, let's do it.
So what I want you to do is, you have 5 seconds to name 3 backyard games. 3 games you would play in your backyard.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. Backyard tennis.
Time.
Time. Gee.
Yeah, Matt. All right, so Matt.
Oh,
backyard tennis is out.
Well, backyard tennis, would that qualify as? See, I don't want to give up an answer, but would that qualify as like something like badminton or anything?
Yes, badminton.
Okay,
yes,
so I can't say badminton.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So
I'll go ahead.
3 backyard games starting now.
Okay. Backyard baseball, backyard football, backyard croquet. I don't know.
Croquet. All right.
Okay. What?
Okay.
One thing. Yeah. And one thing I was going to say was ladder ball. A lot of people play ladder ball, and also we have it out back. Cornhole is a good one. Let's see. Also the big Jenga. The big you've never seen that? We have that in the shed. Yeah, we got to pull it out later. But the giant Jenga. And now our second game. So let me go ahead. Pull this up. I'm going to go ahead and pin myself. It's called Incoherent. So John, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold up a card, and it's in drunken lingo.
Yes.
And you need to figure out what the card says in drunken lingo. And there's 2 hints on the back. So let me know if you need 2 hints on the back. Just sound it out the best way you can. Can you?
Third's teeth or stay. Third's teeth or stay. Third's teeth or stay. I don't know what that means. Third's teeth or stay.
Do you want a hint?
Yes.
Not TGIF.
Third's teeth or stay. I have no idea.
Oh man,
you actually got it.
You actually have it. Just listen to yourself when you say it, and it'll click of what it is. And
third's teeth or stay. Third's teeth or stay. I have no idea. Somebody help me, please.
Yeah, and then it says, wait until the weekend to get sloppy drunk with a question mark.
You know what? I got snake eyes. I got nothing.
It's Thirsty Thursday.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I would have never got, you could have given me from now until Christmas.
Thirsty Thursday, baby.
Thirsty Thursday.
I don't know if they do Thirsty Thursdays anymore. But
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I haven't seen a bar
I'm
that's
sure
done
they probably
Thirsty
still
Thursday
do,
in a
but-
while. But of course, with COVID, they're
Okay, listen, I'm all warmed up now. All right, I'm warmed up.
So how we finish this segment, it's called Ode to Humanity. So have you ever played Cards Against Humanity?
No.
No. Okay. So Cards Against Humanity, it's a very vulgar game. So what we're going to do is we're going to read off a face card, and then we're going to give you 4 options on which you think best answers that face card. So Matt, you want to go ahead and read it off?
So in the black card, you just got to answer this. We have 4 answers. It is what has been making life difficult at the nudist colony.
What has been rashes, mosquitoes.
No, you got to wait for the answers.
Yeah.
So your options are the profoundly handicapped, my first kill, coat hanger abortions, wow, actual mutants with medical conditions and no superpowers. So
I'm going to take the last one.
I love that.
I think
Yeah,
that's the
I love that.
answer.
You guys imagine that, like you're on a nudist beach and mutants show up, but they're not mutants with superpowers. They're just they all just have medical conditions.
Yeah.
Sneeze boy.
Yeah,
Look out for Sneeze boy.
Look out for Sneeze Boy.
Well, wait, foosball.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the answer. Foosball.
And John, thank you for taking part in our Ode to Humanity segment. We just want to stop that out. We always try to play those games with our guests, every guest that we have. So we did a little bit early this week because we know you got some stuff going on. You're at a show. So actually, what I'm going to do real quick too is I'm going to get in with our guest last week, Sherry Nelson, who shout out to Elaine Shapiro. She got us hooked up with all of our guests for this month. She got us hooked up with John. She's got us hooked up with Howard Bloom, and she's got us hooked up with Sherry Nelson. But Sherry Nelson did a segment that I really liked where she named off complete random drunken facts. Like, so I'm starting to incorporate that into the show. So pretty much one of them, and you'll probably, this relates to music. There was once a man who actually legally married his Strat guitar.
Oh dear.
He legally married it. And in 2001, a British performer, Chris Black, fell so frantically infatuated with his red Fender Strat, known by the name of Brenda the Fender, he wedded it following 35 years of dating. The London function was held at a congregation in London and was administered by a companion. The guitar actually had his second spouse, as Chris was likewise wedded to a human lady at the time. And then also the second is salamanders can sever their tails to distract predators. So, and I kind of figured that they could. I've seen that before, but just imagine that. Like, could you imagine if you could sever a part of your body off it? Like someone tries to attack you, and of course salamanders, their tails grow back. But imagine someone's trying to attack you. You cut your arm off, start beating the person with the arm, and then your arm starts growing back. Like, just imagine that someone's trying to rob you, and you're just like, "Oh yeah, you went."
That is a pretty good.
I hope that never happens to me.
I mean, you think that is a pretty good escape mechanism. Someone goes to grab you, and you just like rip your arm off, and they're just like, and they just start throwing up.
I mean, you know,
I'm out of here.
Given a choice, I would rather not have my arm ripped off. I'm just saying.
Either way,
you don't want anything severed.
Not really. No.
And also, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Greenland sharks do not reach their sexual maturity until they're 150 years old. Imagine that. Those sharks are on the planet for 150 years, longer than what any of us will ever be around. Probably all, almost me and Matt combined. Yeah.
Well, they've probably developed a lot of bad habits, Plenty of time, that's what I'm thinking.
They probably sever their own tails. That's probably what it is.
I don't think they sever their own tails.
Yeah. And then I always like to throw in a weird law. And of course, the weird law is right here from where we're at, which is the state of Maryland. And that law is that a woman cannot go through her sleeping husband's pockets. So do you know how many times that's probably happened? Like a woman cannot go through her sleeping husband's pockets. Now, when you say
But
that,
in
does
his case, I
yeah.
guess you could wear their pants.
yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like, so what would you think, John? Like with that law, it's like, does it apply that if they're not wearing the pants, she can't go through them, or do they have to be wearing their pants and she can't go through the pockets? It's like,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that there's ever a really optimum time
Great.
to have someone rifling through your pockets. I'm not sure there's a good time. Is there? I mean, is there a preferred time to have that happen?
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. How would they know though? Like, I mean, like I'm almost half tempted to just sit there and go upstairs and ask my wife to go through my pit, be like, hey, just grab it when I'm asleep.
And then just call the police.
Yeah, and then just call the police. She's going through my pants. And just what they would say, because they'd probably be like, what? Like they probably.
Yeah, I'm hoping that doesn't come up anytime soon. I'm just saying. Yeah.
And then the fifth and final one is you could be living the last year of your life without knowing it. Like that's kind of like a psychological thing.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
It's like, man, like, I mean, that's the thing. None of us wake up and think about that kind of stuff, but it's
but you know what? I think I try and live every day like it could be my last.
Yeah.
I mean that. I try. I don't think about it every day, but every day I wake up, I try and make it so that at the end of the day, I feel like I did something that was good for me, or good for someone else, or good for the planet, or something, so that the day's not wasted.
Yeah, and it's funny because, you know, it's the thing that we do this podcast. We get to talk to a lot of cool people. I myself spent 20 years in pro wrestling. I used to do a TV show. It's like, you know, I wake up, I told my wife, you know, when COVID broke out, you know, I never really panicked about it or anything like that. And she's like, well, you know, I would sit there and tell her and tell other people, be like, well, I'm not scared. I mean, I'm going to die one day. I don't know if it's going to be today, tomorrow, whatever, but I'm going to wake up and live my life to the fullest.
Yeah,
every
exactly.
Day, the best that I possibly can, you know, until that happens. And have you, while you were playing, have you ever had, how many guitars have you had break on you on stage? How many times, like broken strings and all that?
Oh, it's happened. You know, it doesn't happen a lot, but it's happened enough so that I know I don't like it.
Now, when that happens, do you normally have a spare that you have with you? Do you normally take a certain amount, or do you?
Oh yeah, I always have at least one spare, if not 4 or 5.
Okay. And what's your what do you prefer brand wise to play for guitars?
The Fender Stratocaster is my live instrument of choice. I have a big guitar collection. Yeah. But when it comes to playing live, I'm most comfortable on the Stratocaster.
How many guitars would you say you have?
Let's see. Carry the 2, square that number. No, I don't know. You know, I've got a few over the years. You pick things up, you know. Yeah. I don't have a collection like some people collect, like coins or stamps. Yeah. It's not like that. All my guitars are like using tools, so that any guitar that I've collected is really just a tool that I use at one point or another.
Do you have any in that collection that were your personal guitars that mean a lot to you, that you played at a certain show? Or
oh yeah. In fact, the guitar that I play almost every show is a guitar I have dubbed the Fat Man, because the reason why is because somebody gave me an old vintage sticker of a fat man sitting on a brick wall. So I put it on the back of the guitar, and of course the sticker now is faded. You can't see anything, but the name stuck. So the Fat Man, my white Stratocaster, is my favorite.
Nice. So no Brenda the Fender, and no your guitar, no. like the gentleman in London did.
No, I'm afraid not. No.
That's crazy.
And hey, with you guys playing, so you said you're getting ready to go into Soundcheck. Now,
yes.
When you play, and you know, us, when we go to shows, we see the live version of it. Of course, you know, me doing pro wrestling, you know, a lot of times before the show, we're in the ring, we're working out, you know, if we do a big spot in the match, we're kind of going over that a little bit. You know, with your sound check, how into it do you guys get when you do your sound checks? Do you get?
It's important that we sort of have create a balance of instruments, so that the show is something that the audience wants to see, instead of something being too loud or too soft. So sound checks for me are important. They're a way of sort of dress rehearsing the concert.
Okay. And with playing, have you ever had any on stage injuries? Like, have you ever cut yourself on a guitar string, or have you ever, you know, twisted your ankle while you were playing? Of course, you know, almost anything can happen. You could have a drunk guy throw a beer up on stage, and you just don't even know that it's there. And then next thing you know, you're going down.
Yeah, we played in San Juan, Puerto Rico, a few years ago, and there's a big chicken wire in front of the stage. I mean, it's huge, 40-foot stage, and there's a giant sheet of chicken wire. So I asked one of the guys, why is there chicken wire in front of the stage? He goes, you will see, you will see. So it comes concert time, and if they really like you in this place that we played, they throw things at you. Not if they don't like you.
Okay.
So they love me because we got bottles and money and wallets and everything you can imagine, and that's what the chicken wire was about.
Okay. So it pretty much prevents them. Have you ever had an instance where you had someone that was too drunk for their own good that either came up on stage or tried to come up on stage, you know? Because I mean, that's the thing. You play all kinds of places, you know, the alcohol is going. We've had people come into the ring during wrestling shows, get too drunk and come in, and it's like more often than not, it doesn't end well in their favor because of
no, it happened. It's happened, but those circumstances are discouraged by security.
Yeah,
they tend to take a dim view of that. So while it's happened once or twice, it's not something that happens in any regular way at all.
Do you guys get like have you seen any like mind-blowing experiences like crowd surfers or, you know, people jumping off a stage or
all, you know, stage divers? Yeah. I think my favorite are drum solo dancers.
Okay.
You can always depend on a drum. If there's a drum solo, there are people that do their hippie dance, and I always am personally amused by that. So
nice. We went to me and him went to see Metallica a couple years ago, and there was this guy. He was crowd surfing, and he's crowd surfing, and he had on a pair of Converse shoes, and I'll never forget this as long as I live. And his Converse weren't tied.
Yeah.
And we were at Raven Stadium in Baltimore, so this guy just went up, bought like an $18 beer. Like it was like this big, that wide, just bought it, wrestles his way back to his seat. And well, we were all standing, we were in standing room. So wrestles his way back to the area where we were standing. Yeah. And the guy's Converse falls off of his foot, hits the guy's $18 beer, spills it all over his girlfriend and all over the floor. And I just see this guy look at this crowd surfer, and he just sits there, and I see him reach down, he grabs the Converse, and with the most precision I have ever seen anybody in my life, just cocks back and fastballs that Converse, and you just see it hit the guy in the and then he just vanishes in the crowd. Like it was like quicksand. He just sinks down into the crowd, and you never
score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you never see him again. And yeah.
I haven't seen anything like that, but I enjoyed your story very much.
Yeah. That's a good time.
That same concert, there was a guy, he kept on he was crowd surfing, and what he was doing is he was kicking people as he was crowd surfing. And word got around in the crowd that he was kicking people. And so everybody was like, all right, well, we'll show him. So everybody was whispering to everybody, and there was like maybe about 30 of us. Like 30 of us finally caught word. And pretty much what we did is the guy came by and he kicked one of the people who was in on everything, and they're like, all right, we're going to do this. So the guy comes up, and we all hunch down like this, and then all at the same time we go woof, like that, flying like 10 feet in the air. Wow. Comes back down, he didn't get hurt, lands on top of everybody, and then he vanishes. And like that whole night was just people just dispersing, dismissing through the crowd, like becoming the crowd. And it's like, man, this is like quicksand. And are there any, like, all the venues you've played at, are there any venues that are your favorite that you go to, and you know, either it's the crowd or it's just the venue itself that you go to? Because I know with me, when I wrestle, I like going, when we do shows, if you wrestle at a school, it's always fun wrestling at a school, because a lot of times, a lot of those kids, you know, you could do something as simple as a headlock or a body slam, and they'll go nuts. It's always an easy crowd to work in front of. So
I don't know about favorite venues because there's so many, but I can tell you I prefer small venues to large ones. I really like the intimacy and the immediacy of a small place where you're really interacting with the people that are watching the music, and you can even talk to them. I enjoy that infinitely more than large places to play.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, and I feel kind of the same way. It's like, you know, you see WWE and AEW, you know, all those companies on TV, they're in these big arenas, and, you know, the guys go out, they do their thing. but they don't really have a lot of crowd interactions. Like
Exactly right. Yeah.
I never made it to a big company like that. But when you do those like small shows, you know, we're wrestling at a car dealership or we're
Sure.
wrestling at a bingo hall, you're trying to make those people experience much better. So you can actually sit there, body slam your opponent, get out of the ring, tell someone to sit down and shut up, get back in. And then when you get back in, by that time that guy's revived, you get back in, he drop kicks you instantly. They go crazy because you've already, you know, you had time to go out there and talk trash to them and make them feel more like they're a part of the show.
Well, that's what I'm going to do at Soundcheck now. I'm going to body slam the sound man. As soon as I'm done with him, I'm going to body slam the drummer. And let's see what happens after that.
Have you ever, has anybody ever asked you to play anything special? Like, have you ever been asked to play a wedding or like, you know, play for like a wrestling show or, you know, anything?
No, I haven't done a wrestling show, but I did play for a close friend's wedding. It was a small event, and I just brought an acoustic guitar, and it was wonderful.
Nice. And sometimes do you prefer acoustic over electric when you play?
They're both different disciplines, so I like them both. I don't have a preference. I really, during any given year, I do a handful of acoustic shows and another handful of electric concerts, and I enjoy them both for different reasons.
Nice.
Yeah.
And John, of course, we're going to go ahead and let you get ready to get out of here soon because I know
Yes, please.
your sound check. And where can everybody find you, and what all do you have coming up?
Yeah, first of all, I want to mention my new record, Special Day. It's available now everywhere. You can download it at Spotify or iTunes or wherever you download music.
Okay.
Of course, if people want a hard copy of Special Day, they can reach me through my website, send a message, and one of the people will pick it up and respond to it. We respond to all the messages that we get. And I'm really excited about the idea of playing again. Yeah. I mean, you know, we just went through a year of like, you know, nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm happy to be in front of a live audience again. And I'm happy to be promoting my new album, Special Day.
And John, if you send us any of those songs, we'll definitely play them on the audio version of the podcast.
Count on it. Yes.
And real quick, before we let you go,
yes,
you just real quick, and the live crowd will be able to see this real quick too. Would you just be able to say this is Jon Butcher and you're listening to the Happy Hour podcast? We always throw those in on our audio versions.
Tell me when you want me to go.
Anytime you're ready, man.
This is Jon Butcher, and you're listening to the Happy Hour podcast.
Awesome. Thanks, John. We're going to go ahead.
Thanks very much, guys.
Good luck at your show. Kill it.
All right.
Anytime you want to come on, let us know. Shoot me some music. We'll put it into the audio version.
I promise you I will. Take care, guys.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jon Butcher. Of course, we're going to keep things rolling. But what a great guy. Stand-up guy, cool guy.
I always enjoy talking to music artists because of really just sheer how humble they are. You know, it's really they're really down to earth. You see all these guys, how crazy they are in their shows. I'm sure he seems like he's really like a down to earth guy.
Oh yeah.
But like you see these rock bands, you know, they're on stage all this shit. But when you talk to them in person, it's like they're almost like completely different people.
Well, you know? I mean, and that's the thing, and John, and I've been personally excited for it. And of course, shout out again to Elaine Shapiro. She's got us hooked up. Of course, next week we will be back. We're for the first time ever, we're going to do 2 dual episodes. We're going to stay around, talk to you guys for another half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. Who knows? I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. Hell, I have some Socrates heat I need to get out. But next week we will be live at Bubba's celebrity basketball game. That is huge. They just announced that Terrell Owens, NFL Hall of Famer Terrell Owens, will be playing in Bubba's celebrity basketball game. Of course, that's in Snow Hill, Maryland at the Worcester County Rec Center. Make sure you come out for the Fan Fest. You can meet Terrell Owens. You can meet Jacoby Jones. You can meet Kendra Luss. You can meet anybody that's associated with the game. Of course, we're going to be there. Playboy Bobby Starr is coming along with us. He's going to be there. Bubba told us that he also heard back from Jay Briscoe from Ring of Honor. So he may be hanging out as well. It's going to be a huge event. It's for charity. We're going to be there, and we are not going to broadcast, but we will be airing live at various points of time with exclusive content only on the Happy Hour Podcast Facebook page. So make sure you look out with that. We're going to be doing live promos with a lot of people. We're going to be doing various interviews, and that's going to be exclusive to next week. And of course, next week's guest is going to be another musician, Rocky Kramer, who we got hooked up through with Elaine Shapiro. And what we're going to do real quick is one thing that we've long forgotten about. Of course, we put in the random facts segment, which, you know, Greenland Shark, like, dude, I like most of us reach our sexual maturity at like, what would you say, like 18, 19, something like that. You gotta wait 150
what
years.
Like, sexual maturity?
Because I don't think I'm ever sexually mature. Like, I mean, our podcast is for mature audiences only.
I'm trying to think here because sexual, you know, are they talking about when you like as far as puberty goes, or because I think women hit it earlier, I think around like between 11 and 12, maybe younger. I don't know. I'm outdated with all that shit now, but I think I didn't really reach my sexual maturity. If you're talking about puberty, so I was about 14 or 15.
Yeah, and of course, you know, it's actually weird. We were supposed to be joined this week too by Tina Marie Tripper. She's another podcaster. She got the times mixed up. Of course, she's over in Pacific time, we're in Eastern time. She got the times mixed up, but that's fine. Shit happens. We will have her back maybe next week or another week. We're going to try to start integrating other podcasters into our show so they can not only promote, but also, you know, hang out, have a good time, drink some beer with us. And one thing that I have neglected for a while, we did a couple of them, and I'm deciding to bring it back, and that is our Urban Dictionary term of the day.
Oh, no.
So, yes. So, and this one actually, our friend Billy, he might know a little bit about this, and this one actually isn't as bad. The UD term of the day is 13 Bravo. And it said the 13 Bravo is the muscle of the field artillery. These men are workers and the ones with the balls. Do not confuse them with 13 Deltas, the vaginal discharges of the field artillery. and then the hit, like basically they use it in a sentence, and it says 13 Bravos have huge dicks. So
I believe this might be a bit of a biased statement, but I mean,
that's the thing.
It sounds like the guy that put that down there, it probably
doesn't like the thing. He really hates the 13 Deltas. the 13 variants of the Delta he hates. Yes. He hates Delta Airlines and all 13 of their jets.
I'm sure he hates the Delta variant as well.
And speaking of that, it actually kind of falls into recently. There's been a lot of stuff going on. Like we have a lot. There's been a lot of stuff this week that's been going on
in the country,
just in general, the world, in general. Yeah. Like I mean, you look at it like this: Afghanistan has been taken over by the Taliban, and not only have they been taken over, it was literally just like, give us your country, and they were like, here. And what sucks is we were there for 20 years.
If I'm to be fair, technically was their land to begin with.
Yes.
But, you know,
this land is our land.
So they're just kind of taking it back.
Yes. But see, here's the thing though, is they took it so easy, is I feel like a squadron of sloths probably could have defended that a lot better than what.
Well, I mean,
so
from what I understand, and you know, it's all fake news anyway. But you know, from what I understand, the Afghanis kind of that were being trained to fight against the Taliban pretty much just threw down their weapons.
Yeah.
So I mean,
here's the thing though, they're walking through the streets hitting people in the face with sticks.
They just gave up.
Like, I mean, come on, like sticks. Like, do you know what would happen in America if you walked up and smacked a woman in the face with a stick? They're getting out of that car. They're whooping your ass. Especially if it's like a Mama June type woman. You smack her in the face with a stick. Oh man, she's going to use your stick for whatever, you know, she, you know, damn well pleases. And, you know, it's just insane. Also, every person we have when we ask about this, and we brought it up last week on how we wanted to incorporate sleep apnea masks in it. OnlyFans has announced that they are no longer having sexual content on their platform. And actually, one of our guests coming out, yes, August 15th, we're going to have Elena Evans on, and she's been very outspoken about OnlyFans.
Well, so am I now.
And
holy shit!
Here's the thing: OnlyFans, they pretty much like the women built that up with their sexual content, and then they're just kind of like, okay, you know, we're done. That's almost as bad as Amazon being built up, and then Jeffrey Bezos just going, well, we're just closing, whatever, over, see you later, bye everybody. Like, you know, it's insane because pretty much OnlyFans is kind of like Patreon now. Like, what's the set? What sets it different, and what makes it different from what it was before? So it's like Patreon. Like, I mean, that's the thing. It's like Patreon. We had a Patreon. I'm actually, we're going to disband our Patreon. I feel like the content is going to be better going onto our YouTube page. The Fully Fermented is going to go to a YouTube exclusive. We'll bring back Patreon if it's ever required, and we feel like we weren't making money off of it, and I didn't want to make content exclusive to that when we can release it on YouTube and you guys can see it. But no, it's just OnlyFans. Like, I don't understand, because every adult film star we've had on, they've had an OnlyFans.
It's an OnlyFans. Well, you got to think all the things that really shot up with this whole COVID stuff was Zoom.
Zoom became a thing. The Happy Hour podcast became a thing.
Yes, and then OnlyFans. All those things shot up real quick because. Even our podcast, as far as socially goes, with COVID shutting everything down, you could always what's the shit where you Snapchat or with people and all that stuff. Sure, you could do all that stuff. Zoom exclusively lets you contact with people and
well, I mean, that's
the way they have it set up.
When we started, we used Skype. And I was a big advocate of Skype, and people were like, we don't even have logins for Skype anymore. The only thing is with Skype is you couldn't air live on Facebook like we are right now. There's no airing live on Facebook. They didn't have any of that. We had to post the episode after the fact. And, that's just the whole thing. So, it's just
what I'm saying
crazy how they just me off the plug on everything.
Why I'm outspoken about it. It's like, it's like what I just said about Zoom. It kind of changed the game. The way you can get reach to your audiences. Same thing with like the OnlyFans. It's a different way to reach your audience in other ways.
Yes.
But
how they can just reach them and grab the balls and pull the balls.
Well, I'm not sure they do that, but that would be pretty interesting if you could interact.
I think the guy who married his Strat should have created an OnlyFans, and it would have been him and the Strat having sex. Because if he married it and they were dating for 30 years. I'm sure it was a gimmick, but I want this dude to be real. I want him to really marry this guitar. And then I want to see, like, that's the thing. It's like, at that point, like, does he like put his dick in between like the chords and he's just, going at the chords, or does he shove like the handle of the guitar up his ass? Like, I mean, I don't.
He just pours some lotion on it and just rubs it down.
Just rubs it into his skin, or it gets the hose again. And it's funny. Have you seen?
But the thing is, people would probably pay to see that.
Oh, yes. Well, see, here's the thing. People watch the weirdest shit. Like, for example, there's a show, and I don't know if you saw it. There's a show on Netflix. Do you know what furries are?
Yep.
Do you know where I'm going?
I've actually seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Just watch it. I forgot what it was called. But you sit there, and what's bad is even though they're in an animal costume, you can sit there and tell how good looking these people are under this costume. Like, no, fuck that. I want like fucking some hillbilly, like Hills Have Eyes looking motherfucker underneath that fucking furry costume.
I don't know that. But I have said this when I was talking to my wife about this when we were watching. Doesn't it have something to do with beasts? Some shit like that. I think that's what it's called. Where they dress up and make full makeup, and there's some sort of animal, or it doesn't have to be an animal. It could be like an alien or whatever. Insect, whatever it is. And then you go on a date with this person, and you basically learn to love the person, not through their looks, but just through sheer
personality. Their sheer personality.
I'm trying to think of
however, you see this dude with 24-inch pythons underneath his fucking costume, and you're like, like one was like jacked black dude who looked like Bobby Lashley, and I'm like, okay,
I saw that. And it's a neat concept, and I get it. But exactly what you said. Like, these people are beautiful under that. They're gonna. Good looking people.
Well, there's one.
Listen, my thing is, they never pick some ugly ass fucking like not ugly, but maybe just like your normal
I mean, that's the thing.
run-of-the-mill
Ugly
guy.
people need love too. I mean, Christ, I found love. I'm ugly. Like, I mean, Jesus.
And it's funny because
I married extremely up.
Well,
like,
I'm not downing the show because it did keep me a little bit engaged.
But,
But exactly what you said. It's like,
just admit it.
She's gonna regret this.
Just admit it. You jerked off to them in the costume.
No, I would never jerk off in front of. Never. Yeah, I probably would. Anyway, but no, because when they do the reveal, they're like, oh well, let's see what Jessica looks like, and I bet he's gonna regret that. Of course. She comes in after they do the reveal or whatever. She's fucking drop dead gorgeous. Yeah. And you're like, well, duh.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously.
Surprise.
But of course, so is Lucille. Lucille is gorgeous as well. Like, I mean,
they're all good looking people. That's my thing.
It's almost like, what is that show? Love is Blind. Have you seen that? And like literally, like they're in a room and like they're here and they have a wall between them and they talk to each other and they pretty much Love is Blind. You did that, and then you had to get married at the end. So they talked to each other for like weeks behind the wall, and all of them were good looking. But it's the kind of thing that you fell in love with their personality. And I was like, I really wanted like this really smoking hot chick to fall in love with this like 400-pound guy. And the first time you see each other is when you're at the altar. And just imagine that, like she's standing up there, she's all happy, smiling. I love this guy. And then all of a sudden, Yokozuna comes walking, down, and it's just kind of like, oh, what is this? Like,
no. Can we cut?
Well,
cut.
What is it?
Cut. Cut.
What is it with these shows with things in costume? Because the Masked Singer also, and I'm over that show. I watched one season and I'm like, this is so fucking predictable, and this is so fucking stupid.
I did like Masked Singer. I watched the first couple seasons. I did like it. Now they got this new dating show with the furries and I understand, I guess, what they're trying to do, but they're what are you trying to say, Ray? Do you want to know my opinion? They're going down a fucking rabbit hole is what they're going down.
And what we're going to do real quick, so we're going to get into our featured beer this week. So a little bit different. About a couple of weeks ago, we got rid of our shot of the month, and it's now the featured shot. We're going to do the same thing with our beer because we always have so much beer left over. And also, if someone comes to and we're airing live with them, and there's multiple beers, like if we're at Hysteria Brewing Company, we can just feature all of those beers at one time. So we're going to go back and do two from the past, which we're drinking right now. One is Rusty Rail Brewing. You guys may remember this. It is the peanut butter beer, Crunchbot. So there's the Crunchbot just shoveling all those nuts into his mouth with his big green eyes. Rusty Rail Brewing Company, shout out. They're being refeatured this week on the Happy Hour podcast. And of course, Matt, what do you have?
I am drinking Memory from, how do you say that? Lagunitas? Lagunitas. Okay. I was way the fuck off. But Hazy Memory. It's actually not bad. I think
it will make your memory. If you drink about 45 of those, your memory will be very hazy.
I mean, my memory's pretty hazy already, but beside the point. But no, it is good. I like IPA. Some people don't.
I mean,
but I do.
This is
I never really used to like
I
never really used to like IPAs, but I have acquired a taste for them.
And then you know what time it is now. Jesus. So we're getting back to our featured
aftershave for the month.
Yes. So, and of course, it's going to be a while before we have a new one because I still have a lot of stuff in my freezer. But if you look, for everybody watching at home, everybody listening at home can't see this. This bottle is actually kind of getting low. So, I told Matt, I was like, let's get the worst out of the way first.
Right. Well,
so of course, Polo Club, this is our refeature, on the show. We want to get through it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this hideous abomination of liquor into some shot glasses, and then we're going to insert it into our mouths because So
it's really not that bad, but it does.
Well, around the holidays, you can probably take it and smack it on your face like Kevin McAllister and be like, ah.
But yeah, I do like the fact
All right, I'm not filling that all the way up.
Oh, come on, man.
Okay,
do it. No.
I was about to say, you're going to have to fill yours all the way up. And I know that that's going to be kind of painful and it's going to hurt. And yeah. Oh, all right. You're great. Okay. Yeah,
I'm a big,
because
I'm a big boy.
Yeah, right here live. You're going to be like, oh, okay. You need to fill yours all the way up. Like,
no, I'm not. I'm not here to call anybody out, but raise a pussy.
Well, I mean, if anybody's ever tried this, and it's getting low.
It is
another episode or two. This thing will be out of our lives forever. We'll never have to feeture that on the show ever again.
The thing is, this is filled up pretty high, and the reviewers can see that.
And you know what? Right here, we're slandering Jen so bad right now. But of course, there's a lot of people out there who probably like Jen.
Well, honestly,
but I think if this is with Juice,
right,
this probably be good. Good old Snoop Dogg, Jen and Juice.
Snoop Dizzle, Junebug, juicing and ginning. Like gin is good in mixed drinks. So like gin straight up, not my cup of tea.
It's not mine either. But I'm more of a whiskey guy. Like anything whiskey wise, of course. But of course, here we go. We're going to cheers this out. So for everybody listening at home, watching on Facebook Live, here we go. We're going to kill ourselves.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, man. So for those of you.
Oh, come on. Come on, man.
Oh, it's so bad.
It is.
God, it hurts so bad. It's so bad that Cookie Monster on my hat now has drunk eyes. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, for those of you not watching, I'm wearing my Earthquake from WWF t-shirt and my Cookie Monster hat. And they're now so intoxicated just from... it's so bad. And Stanton Bell is commenting saying, what's up, dude? Stanton, how you doing? Shout out to Stanton. Of course, we're right here live on Facebook. And, dude, we have a lot of stuff coming up. Of course, we talked about Bubba's celebrity basketball game. That's going to be next week. And Bubba Almany, great friend of ours. Bubba and Bob Starr are the only two who've been featured on the show more times than anybody else. Of course, heading into 2022, we're going to try to bring back some of the guests that we had before, catch up with them, see how they're doing.
Well, I am kind of excited to go on a mini road trip with Bob Starr, even though it's kind of... his past, it's kind of scary going on a road trip with those guys.
Well, it's funny because Bob delivers bread for a living. And of course, when you do independent pro wrestling and, and of course, Bob's been, out of the, he doesn't wrestle, weekly anymore. Bob's kind of up there in age, but he delivers bread for a living and he works at night. So he told me, he's like, yeah, dude, he's like, if all goes well, I should be off at 1. And I'm like, well, we're leaving at like 7. Yeah, and I was like, do you want to ride with us? He's like, that'd be great if you could drive. So Bob, shout out to Bob. I fucking love that dude. Like I said before, he's kind of like the wrestling dad and everybody loves Bob. He always has a great presence. He's great to everybody. He's going to ride with us off of like 5 or 6 hours worth of sleep and go to Bubba's show and hang out and, have a good time. And he also said he's going to take photos. So also Bob Starr will be shooting videos, shooting photos. We're going to have so much exclusive content. Please, if you are local, come out to Snow Hill, Maryland, check out Bubba's celebrity game. Go to our website, www.thehhpod.com, and make sure you click on the link for Bubba's celebrity game. You can get tickets from there. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a great time. The fan fest beforehand. Meet Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens is still blowing my mind that he's going to be there.
I was a big fan of T.O. growing up. So yeah, it's going to be real exciting to see him.
Oh, and also Stanton Bell commented, I forgot, while we were talking about the downfall of OnlyFans, the downfall of Afghanistan. There's been a lot of downfalls in the last week. However, one thing that he brought up, and this is a big highlight, of course, I ditched cable myself, so I couldn't watch this live, so I saw the video. In the wrestling world, of course, everybody knows I've done pro wrestling for the last 20 years. It's always incorporated in this show, is that the return of CM Punk. CM Punk has came back to professional wrestling. AEW signed CM Punk. It's been a rumor there for a long time. And
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I heard a rumor a long time ago about that.
And just the reaction that he got last night, the thunderous, like I'm talking about like Legion of Doom Road Warriors type pop. And I've always found moments special. Like I like AEW, but I'm still kind of in that they need to prove. I've always been a WWE guy in the trenches of WWE through the thick and thin, but bottom line is they need to make some adjustments. WWE, I don't know what they're doing with their product right now, but when you look at it, like Edge coming back was huge. John Cena coming back just recently was huge. CM Punk coming back was huge. So right now it's a great time to be a wrestling fan because they're doing so many good things. And CM Punk coming back, granted, he was at his hometown in Chicago last night. So I'm intrigued to see if those reactions carry on other places he goes. Of course, Chicago, you bring him back in Chicago, that makes sense. It's almost like bringing Ric Flair back from a long hiatus in Charlotte, North Carolina. And, of course, he's going to have that reaction of bringing Austin back in Texas. It's going to be that huge reaction, so I'm kind of curious to see if that carries on, elsewhere with CM Punk. And my wife, she doesn't know a lot about wrestling, but there's two things she knows about wrestling. One being CM Punk, the other being The Miz. And the reason why she loves The Miz, and the reason why she loves The Miz,
he has his own show with his wife, right?
Well, yeah, him and Maria, and that's more entertaining than most of the stuff he does in WWE. But he knows reality TV because my wife knew The Miz from when Mike Mizanin was The Miz and Road Rules, and when they did the challenge.
I had no idea.
So she knew him, and he was going as the gimmick The Miz when he was, doing the challenge and Road Rules and the Real World and all that stuff. So, she has only owned one wrestling shirt. We've been together for 11 years. She's owned one wrestling shirt. That wrestling shirt was the "Hello, I'm Awesome" The Miz t-shirt from when she went to the one wrestling show with me. So, that's the whole thing. So she knows CM Punk. So I showed her the Punk thing with him coming back because she's never been huge, into wrestling herself. So, and Stanton Bell, who's also commenting, he's like, definitely agree with you on that. AEW still has a lot to prove, and it's awesome seeing WWE and AEW fight it out to see who's better. AEW, or he said AEW, not he put all by accident. But the thing is I look at it like this, and CM Punk said last night, one thing that stood out with me is he said, August, what was it? I think he said August 14th, 2005, I left pro wrestling. On August 20th, 2021, I came back to pro wrestling. So he signed his contract with WWE on August 14th, 2005. So that was his way of taking a jab and saying, I went into sports entertainment where I was a entertainer, and then on this date, I came back as a wrestler. So, it's the kind of thing, but WWE, WWE is bigger than, wrestling itself. WWE, they don't really need wrestling. They're an entertainment company. I mean, Christ, SummerSlam is airing in movie theaters. You're airing SummerSlam in movie theaters live tonight on pay-per-view, WWE SummerSlam, which threw me off. I thought it was tomorrow night, but it's on a fucking Saturday. SummerSlam. And SummerSlam is airing.
It August? It is
yeah,
August.
yeah.
Jesus
So SummerSlam
Christ,
is airing, which, by the way, if anybody's watching at home, if WWE happens to see this, please bring SummerSlam to Oriole Park at Camden Yards. I know you guys love running at baseball stadiums. You did the Royal Rumble at one when Edge came back. You're doing SummerSlam at one. I would love to see WWE in some way, shape, or form at Oriole Park and Camden Yards with the warehouse in the background. They always do themes for wherever they are. Like, of course, they're in Vegas tonight. There's a baseball stadium in Vegas, which I would love to see a team go, be created in Vegas. I don't really like seeing teams move. Like, I hate the fact that the Indians are going to be the Guardians. I kind of hope for the Cleveland Spiders myself because that's what they were before. But I'm also kind of pissed off that my Washington Redskins are still the Washington football team. Out of the 700 million words that exist in this, named anything. Yeah. You can name them anything. And I find myself a lot of times, I'll sit there and I'll look at like MLB, stats where they would have teams like the Wolverines or the Negro Leagues had the Monarchs, and just so many cool names way back when. And also I love that they finally incorporated the Negro Leagues into Major League Baseball, which they should have did a long time ago because Willie Mays came from that. So now Willie Mays his stats from then can now be incorporated into his Major League Baseball stats. So pretty much the home runs he hit there get just tacked on with the record-breaking home runs that he set in the first place from, doing that. So, but
yeah, as far as names go, it's just like, you hear the Baltimore Ravens, you hear Tampa Bay Buccaneers and shit like that. No, I just want to give them a shout out.
Yeah.
But then he's like, and here comes the Washington football team.
Football team
over the announcers. Like, coming in.
They have
the Baltimore Ravens. The Washington football team.
See, and it's weird because I
need
heard,
a name.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, guys.
I heard, I understand, me, I'm one of those types of people, and I can't speak for anybody else. And Matt, I'm sure you're the same way.
Am I?
I don't get offended very easy. I really don't. And we have a program that we're just kind of we're mature audiences only. We advertise, for a mature audience. We're going to offend somebody. It's just the way it works. But we live, we live in a snowflake society where people come for your heads and they want you to lose everything you have just because they don't like what you said. Actually, Louis C.K.
I don't have shit, so you can have it.
Look at it like this. Louis C.K. got in trouble for jerking off in front of a chick who knew he was jerking off.
It was allegedly, though. So.
But my wife loves Louis C.K. He's her favorite comedian ever. We went to see him a year ago at Magoobies, and it's when COVID was still going. And Louis C.K., I remember he told this joke that stood out, where he was like, the masks are actually not all that bad because he's like, people have ugly mouths. He's like, you sit there and your face is covered. So all you see, he's like, all you see are their eyes. So, you're sitting there and he's like, I'm sitting there and people will walk up to me and they'd be like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, this, that, and another. And he was pretty much like, if you only knew who you were talking to. You're talking to the guy who was jerking his dick in front of a woman about a couple of years ago.
Oh,
but, they said recently on 98 Rock that he's one of those types of guys that he'll do a stand-up show and he will tip the other. I think Rob Mayer, who we've had on recently, Rob Mayer was saying that he tipped him extra money for his show. He tipped him more money than what he made during his own show. And also he left a hefty tip for the bartenders and the waitresses and all that stuff on his own, just to do that, just to be a good person at his shows. And he did a small show thing, but now he's running big arenas again. He's going to be running at Madison Square Garden. I mean, so that's the thing. It just shows that, from stuff like that, you can come back from stuff like that. That's just, the way it works.
Some things you can't.
Jared Fogle, he's not coming back. He's not going to come back and be the spokesperson for Subway or anything like that. Right. Those $5 footlongs, trust me, he's paying $5 right now to get away from those footlongs. That's the way it works. So...
what I was gonna say is, though, with comedians, and it's a good thing that I want to when Justin comes on the show.
Actually, speaking of which, shout out to Justin Schlegel. He will be on our show September 1st. The month of September is going to be very weird with us airing live because my anniversary, my wife's birthday, all that falls in September. So I've scheduled around all that. So Justin, he's also only available on a Tuesday night. So Tuesday night, September 1st, we will be live with Justin Schlegel. For those of you listening at home, that will be, I believe, September 11th, I believe that will be airing on all major podcast outlets. So Justin will be joining us. That's going to be a blast. Of course, Justin did a couple of wrestling shows with me over in the past. So
that's why I bring him up. Now is as far as because he's a comedian. And what we're reference to sorry, that shot has really got me.
It's
really
got you now.
Still
got
me.
Literally ripped. When I took that shot,
I'm still
it felt like
aftershave.
Look, let me tell you, when I took that shot, it felt like a hand went up my ass and grabbed my throat and pulled my throat out of my ass.
Well, I don't think it was that bad. I mean, I took it like a champ, but it's just it came back at me and I'm like, you ever see what is it, Bruce Almighty, when Steve Carell is just going. Well, no, it's more like because I've been this drunk before. I'm kind of getting off topic
I
here.
don't think you would ever. I don't think I've ever seen a time when you've ever been that intoxicated.
No,
There's no way.
Well, I don't want to get to my story.
No way.
I don't want. I don't.
No way. I don't know why I'm cutting the cheddar right now. Like, there's no
I
way.
know you've seen me fucking just completely destroyed.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say was more like because I've actually have been in this situation before. I'm not going to bring up that Wawa story, but maybe some other time.
I'm not going to bring up that one Wawa story.
But I remember leaving.
That Wawa story may not be in the statute of limitations.
And if you would understand if you've ever been obliterated to where you feel like you are talking like and getting the word up, but
you feel like you are standing in front of a podium and you are speaking to millions.
Well,
and you're making a point clear.
Well,
meanwhile, you're just saying
it
all kinds of
sounds a lot like I want to say it was a Jim Carrey movie. I don't know if it was Liar Liar.
Okay,
it might have been Liar Liar when he was trying to speak the truth, but he was trying to like lie about it.
Yes,
he was like,
yeah.
I literally have said that when I was drunk before, and I knew this because they were just like looking at me like,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm just like,
well, of course, shout out,
and then I left.
Shout out to Chris. Of course, Chris was on the show not too long ago. We talked about a lot of our drunken stories. A couple episodes back, us and our friend Bobby. When we
That's
would get
why
drunk,
I can't wait to go.
We used to go shlobba lobba ding dong. Like we used to, like me and my buddy Bobby and Chris would sit there and get drunk and just do stuff like that. And see, here's the thing: like we could be drunk together and we could be like, blah, 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 blah. But to
we
me and you, that's we understand each other. Like,
it's like cavemen.
It's almost like a dog communicating with another dog. Like we don't know what they're saying, but we know what each other's saying. Like we used to sit there and be like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, throw the pole over the balcony. Okay, let's go do it.
There's a Simpsons episode when he's talking to their dog, Satan's Little Helper.
Okay, yeah,
and he's like, the dog is like, basically saying, motherfucker, I just want a treat. And, and when Homer's hearing this, blah, 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 blah. That's what they hear when they're talking. But they're saying, oh, good boy. And they're going, blah, 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 blah. It's like, motherfucker, I just want a treat.
And of course, as I said, we had a Patreon. We disbanded the Patreon. Thank you to everybody who supported us, our whole couple of subscribers, but I feel that the content that we have on that, the extra bonus stuff that we have, will benefit us, and the fully fermented will benefit us to be released as YouTube exclusives compared to Patreon exclusives. We're not quite there yet. The fan base, of course, Stanton Bell, MVP. He keeps on commenting. He said, "By the way, love you guys' show. Thank you to anybody who loves the show, anybody who supports the show. Make sure you go out buy some t-shirts. The next t-shirt that is coming out, bro." I sent you that image.
It's pretty gold.
I'm not going to spoil it, but I am going to say this for anybody watching or listening. Make sure you go over to our social media pages. I had a very special image done up. Shout out to Steve Freeman. Steve has been a friend of mine for a long time. I recently got with him. I pay him, to do graphic work for us. And he's the one who did the image. If you go into our Facebook page, there's our main photo of the wrestler with the raptor and the headlock with the fireworks in the background, based off of our episode with Kimber Haven. But he made us an image spoofing. We were spoofing a really famous horror movie.
It's a nice.
And pretty much what I am doing is I'm putting out there, if anybody out there can guess on social media what that horror movie is, we will send you a free hoodie with that image on there. And if anybody can guess the movie or just post the image, the exact image that we spoofed off of, not only will you get the hoodie, but you'll also be able to come onto a future program and talk to any guest of your choosing. And we've been talking to Elaine Shapiro. We might be having a big Halloween-oriented guest. She's still in the process of trying to get him to agree. A big Halloween-oriented guest that has been in Friday the 13th, that has been in The Lost Boys, that has been in a couple of things that she may try to get us on a future program, more so the Halloween episode that we will be airing. Speaking of which, in October, I am going to Salem, Massachusetts, where the Salem witch trials happen, for Halloween weekend. So the weekend before, I believe the 23rd and the 24th, or the 24th and 25th, will be the first time we will air 2 nights back to back recording episodes, because I will be out of town, and Matt knows this as well as anybody else. This show does not happen if I am not here. So we will be pre-taping 2 episodes, 2 nights back to back, because I will be in Salem, Massachusetts with my wife and some of our family for Halloween this year. So make sure you tune in. We have a lot coming up. Let's see. So
we got a pretty busy.
Of course, Bubba's celebrity. We're running a little long. We're going to wrap this up shortly because we started early with Jon Butcher. So sorry to you guys who tuned in. We didn't know that we would have such limited time with Jon Butcher, but we appreciate him coming in. Whatever time any guest can give us, we always appreciate it, and we appreciate every single one of you guys listening or watching at home. Of course, we have next week will be Bubba's Celebrity Bodyguard game, or Bubba's Celebrity Basketball game, which we are going to be there. We're going to be interviewing. We're going to be there all day long. Snow Hill, Maryland, live. We're going to have exclusive content all day long. Make sure you find our Facebook. That's the only place where you will be able to find it. And by the way, fuck you, Facebook. I forgot to get into that. Facebook, you fucking pieces of shit. My email got hacked this week, and my email that got hacked has the same logins as my Facebook. I got locked out of my personal Facebook. So if anybody is on my personal Facebook, any personal friends watching at home, make sure you find my variant, as I like to say, my Loki variant page.
He's got a Loki
I
variant
knocked
out there. And
Facebook, Facebook did nothing to help me. So fuck that lizard person. Fucking, I don't know what the fuck.
You talking about?
Yeah. I don't know what, and we're probably never going to air live on Facebook ever again. But I don't know what Zuckerberg is. But when you look into those eyes, I see something that's not human. So. You don't want to fucking help me with my face. You come back and help me with my Facebook page, Zuck. I will rub your feet. I don't care, whatever. But you don't want to fucking help people. You're a billion-dollar company. They don't even have customer. They don't have a customer service department. How the fuck are you around the song? You can't call somebody or email somebody and say you fucking have customer service.
I know we're running over, but that's what I was
fucking lizard motherfucker.
That's what I was going to say.
I don't know if they exist, but if they do, he's one of them.
But that's what I was trying to say about. Like I said, I apologize.
You see this right there? Those fucking green. That's fucking that's you. That's you. Look at it, Zuck. Look into that. You fucking gobbling up the nuts. You fucking bitch.
We're running over. But
yes, our show. We'll run over as long as we fucking want to.
But yeah, that's the thing.
We don't have rules
about Facebook. Is I don't understand. As long as they've been around, and you motherfuckers are still getting hacked.
Yeah,
I understand sometimes that is the responsibility of the user.
But that's the thing.
You definitely.
Do you understand the hoops I had to jump through? I had to take a picture of my fucking ID, my driver's license, and send it to them. And you know what? I still could not get into my fucking page. I had to create another one. Why am I sending you this over my phone? All these things that can hack in and people that can get into your shit. I had to send you my fucking ID so the fucking lizard people can fucking jerk off all fucking over it. Jerk off on fucking Ray's fucking ID face. Fucking my fucking fat face from when I was fat fucking 4 years ago. Like super fat. Like fucking no. See, I'm fired.
It's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's all right.
I'm going into Socrates mode right now. So people don't know if it's me or if it's Socrates right now. But the whole thing is
Socrates.
We were at the
demon has consumed you.
Mike told me one night that they were at fucking Christina's, a gentleman's club that we used to frequent all the time.
Gentleman's club,
and one
because we don't know
one of the bartenders called him Psychotrees. So Psychotrees. So but anyways, we got a little bit off the topic. So we have a lot coming up. Of course, Bubba's Celebrity Basketball game. Next Sunday, we will be live with Rocky Kramer. He's another musician. Look up Rocky Kramer, listen, download some of his stuff. Of course, Jon Butcher. Find some of Jon Butcher's stuff. He's been around since the 1970s. He's done all kinds of shit. Shout out again to Elaine Shapiro. She will be providing us with almost all of our guests in October. But coming up, of course, after Rocky Kramer, will be a couple of days later will be Justin Schlegel. Justin Schlegel from 98 Rock, stand-up comedian. Awesome guy. He's going to be hilarious. He's going to be joining us on the program, Justin Schlegel. And then we will have Melina Kane, adult film star. Melina Kane, shout out to the Rub PR. The Rub PR has got us Karen Fisher. She's gotten us, Lauren Phillips, a lot of our adult film stars. After Melina Kane will be legendary adult film star Elena Evans. Elena Evans will be joining us on the show. That will be a little bit later on. I believe that is later on in September. Of course, September is going to be weirdly booked, as I said. And then also adult film star Corey Chase will be joining us as well. So, and I'm very intrigued on how a lot of this is going to work out, because a lot of these girls come on. And when I got the request for Corey Chase, they said, hey, can she come on and talk about her OnlyFans? So now I'm intrigued on what's going to happen with this downfall, this pitfall that has become OnlyFans, this Facebook heat that they are now, that's Chase Rawlings level of Facebook heat that they are now getting from the adult film industry, for banning all of this content. Because I mean, that's the thing. Like, if I go, what's the sense of going on to an OnlyFans and not being able to pay? Like, that's the thing. It's like, if I'm paying for content, like I want to pay to see the good shit. Like, that's what I want to see.
I want to see the goods, ladies.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, they want you to see the goods too.
Yes.
And part of me, I think I got cut off and detoured from talking about.
Yeah, I started talking about that fucking lizard person, Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah,
suck.
As we're live on Facebook, mind you, shout out to Facebook.
We love you, Facebook.
Yes, this is our last broadcast ever on Facebook Live.
Probably.
This of all things, this is going to get back to Zuck, and he's going to be like, "Fuck that dude, fuck Earthquake on his shirt, fuck the Cookie Monster, and fuck the Happy Hour podcast."
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. No. And I'm going to have my UFO come with the alien people, and they're going to bring you up here, and we're all going to just fuck you in the ass over and over again. And Jeff Bezos is going to record it from his fucking cock rocket that he has that went up into fucking outer space. So, yeah.
This sounds like we should make an OnlyFans.
Well, here's the thing. We can't anymore.
No.
Because we were going to patent and create our sleep apnea mask, which were going to be Bane, Sub-Zero, whatever. And we were going to wear just those and take pictures and videos in just those only on our OnlyFans. But now we can't do this. So now we have to wear clothes. So now it's ruined. So thank you, OnlyFans. Now it's Facebook, and now it's OnlyFans. Fuck you guys, because you're making it hard for us. We weren't really going to create that OnlyFans, but I'm just going to give you guys heat just because. That's just the way it works.
We got heat with OnlyFans now.
Yeah.
We don't have an OnlyFans account right now.
Yeah.
But no, I do kind of fucked up, about the OnlyFans is because during COVID, this is a very large, way for the women and even males in the adult industry.
Yeah.
They
make money.
That's basically their livelihood.
They can't record. They make money, and
you're telling us they can't get together and get gangbanged.
Yeah.
So what else can we do? So I'm just going to make an OnlyFans.
I mean, you look at it like this,
and that look though, that money. I don't know. It's not my. I have no idea how it runs, but they get a majority of that money. Of course, it's like.
Yeah,
YouTube or anything that they probably have got to pay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
At once things are monetized or whatever.
Yeah.
But that money is theirs.
Oh yeah.
If they're going, think if they're going through Pornhub and their normal porn production company or whatever.
Yeah.
No heat or anything against
no
them.
No pun intended. Yeah.
Right. Well, no heat against them. It's that like this is more for. They're making money on their own, which is the way it should
quit
be.
Jobs. There's teachers. There's women who worked at McDonald's who quit their jobs just to show their tits weekly on OnlyFans. And me being the kind of guy I am, I commend you. I like tits. I've always liked tits. But the whole thing is and Mike Busey, Janine Jericho brought him up before, of course, the Mike Busey show. He has that. And I saw a post from him on Twitter saying, I told you ladies this was going to happen. You should always have a backup plan because you never know when something like that is going to get the plug pulled on it. And my whole thing is,
there's going to be something else to replace it.
As Elena Evans says it, Elena Evans considers themselves sex workers. They have always gotten, the short end of the stick. In the movies, they don't. They get the whole stick. But,
I see what you did there.
But the thing is I know from pro wrestling, I know from the Happy Hour TV when we did that, is that sex sells. It always sells.
Yeah.
Happy Hour TV didn't get over because it was entertaining. Happy Hour TV got over because of Jessie Jane, because of Lisa Ann, because of Nikki Benz.
So
this podcast doesn't get over because it's entertaining. It gets over because of fucking Sarah J and Karen Fisher are some of the most viewed content we have out of anything.
And yes, that says a lot about our fucking perverted audiences. But I mean, no, but yes, we are entertainers.
Which we love all of you, and we will never judge you. We're judging you.
I'm not judging you. I'm a fan as well. But no, really, he's judging you. You ever notice how that works? That some of our episodes where we either have a guest for a short period of time, or like it's just us, that it just spirals into something. This
that
is what I'm saying, that like the Patreon. This is actually stuff we used to put on the Patreon.
Yeah, it's this kind of stuff.
But this is now like you're just gonna get.
This is gonna be our regular.
You're not gonna get the short.
Once I am done pulling all of my photos off of my old Facebook that's still live and uploading them onto my current Facebook because of fucking lizard ass fucking Mark Zuckerberg and his fucking
Well, what I'm saying,
stupid company.
You're no longer just getting the tip. You're getting the full dick. You're getting all of it.
Yeah, you're getting the entire broomstick with the splinters shoved up your ass. Like that's just
But the thing about the porn stars, and we give them shout outs to all performers, because it's not just but
and Bubba Almany says the same thing.
But it's also the homage. We're paying homage to them because they have definitely helped us.
That's the thing, but I look at it like this: are people too. Like we have a wide variety of people on our show, and I'm not going to sit there and I'm never. We live in a society where you can't judge somebody, and I mean that's the thing. Like society has become that way. I'm not going to sit there and judge you. Oh, well, you got hammered out by 12 dicks last night. I'm not going to judge you for that. I don't care. Like, I'm not being hammered out by 12 dicks, whatever. I don't care.
I know you did because I watched it.
But, it is what it is. And I mean, honestly, we take a lot of grief for it. We've gotten a lot of grief from various people, probably our wives, whoever else, or just people going, oh, why do you have, adult films?
Maybe your wife, not your wife.
Well, I mean, but see, here's the thing, though. It sells. And that's the thing. And we're doing this podcast to do this podcast. Like, we talk to the same guests the same way we talk to any other guest. Jon Butcher, we play the same games with Jon Butcher we play with Sarah J. We play the same, like that's the thing. We will play the same games with someone who's white that we will with someone who's African American or someone who's, Chinese.
A person of color. How dare you?
But I mean, that's the thing. And we're running a little bit over. We're actually running extremely over. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Yet again, we will be live next Saturday. Make sure you find our Facebook. If you're not friends with us on Facebook, find our Facebook, friend us on Facebook. We will be having exclusive footage. I'm going to try to get interviews with Kendra Lust, Terrell Owens, Jacoby Jones, and various others throughout the whole entire day. I would love to be able to talk to Terrell Owens, even if it's for 5 seconds.
That's what I said. I just would love to just talk to the man. As much as of a controversial player he was in the NFL, I'm sure he's pretty humble.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I bet he's got if we do a promo with him, I bet he's got a hell of a promo.
Yeah. Actually, he was on MCV's The Challenge Champs versus Stars, and he almost got into a fight with one of those stars on that. So that'd be interesting to talk to. But I mean, that's the thing. That's going to be fun. Of course, Rocky Kramer will be next Sunday around the same time as we came to you guys today. So once again, thank you for tuning into the Happy Hour podcast. Thank you to Jon Butcher. I hope they're killing it right now during their sound check and their show tonight. And thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to Stanton Bill for communicating with us. Thank you for Wilson who tuned in live. Of course, everybody's, it says whoever tunes in live. So Wilson, of course, I know him from EWA. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in live, everybody who consistently supports this show. And we will see you guys next week right here, wherever you find your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Radio, Facebook Live, and we will see.
We should do another shot. That's what we should do.
No, fuck that. We're waiting until next week. Fuck that shot.